How's it going, everybody? So in this video I want to just discuss with you all for a little bit the benefits of owning and using a Fitbit. Dang it. There we go. So a Fitbit. What is a Fitbit? A Fitbit is an industry standard fitness tracker. What a Fitbit does is it calculates your heart rate. It actually tracks your heart rate in real time, and it has a pulse rate tracker built straight in. It can calculate your mileage, walking and running, by calculating the strides of your arm and detecting movement and vibration. And it also can track your steps based on your stride. It tracks your sleep based on heart rate variability and patterns of your heart rate. It can track your resting heart rate by averaging out your heart rate throughout the day, from day to day. It can track your energy expenditure, also known as your calorie burning, your calorie counting, calorie burning. And it can track the amount of exercise that you engage in from day to day. And you can use all this data to help you determine how hard you've been working each day, how much food you need to be consuming or need to not be consuming, depending on your dietary paradigm. Because if you're doing a ketogenic diet, calories honestly take a whole new role in your nutritional strategy, but that's commonly debated, and I have other videos on that. But essentially, you can track your sleep, which is very, very useful. A lot of people, they always talk about how they don't get enough sleep or they get too much sleep. And what I really like about this is you can kind of correlate how you feel during the day with the amount of sleep you're getting based on your Fitbit. And it happens to be very, very effective for tracking sleep. It tracks the quality of your sleep, your REM cycles, and your deep sleep, your light sleep, and your wakefulness. It tracks the time of day, or the time during your sleep in which you wake up to go to the restroom, basically, and when you fall asleep, when you get up from sleep. And so some people actually report doing better on littler sleep compared to on bigger sleep. Okay, so if you keep a separate journal where you track down your like your feeling during the day and your sleep cycle that your Fitbit tracked, then you can start to see patterns between how effective you're sleeping and how much sleep actually makes you feel optimal. Just because like a certain health guru says that you need 8 hours a day doesn't actually mean that. Actually, there's a lot of science that says 4 to 6 is actually the optimal range, but it's going to vary depending on the person, and that's why Fitbit is so powerful, because it can help you determine your own needs. Also, people who exercise aggressively like I do and are athletes by profession, they have a tendency to burn a lot more calories than they realize. So for me personally, I had always eaten around 3,000 to 4,000 calories per day, and thinking that I was getting plenty of calories compared to the amount of calories I was burning. Well, I didn't know just how many calories I was burning until I got a Fitbit. And once I got a Fitbit, the data on my Fitbit suggested that I was burning around 3,500 calories per day. And it does factor in your basic metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories you burn just by living, depending on your body weight. Okay, a heavier person has a higher basic metabolic rate, because in order to sustain your weight, you need a certain amount of calories. Anyway, I'm around 190, 200 pounds this whole year. I've been fluctuating, and my Fitbit suggested I was burning around 1 to 2,000 calories a day just by my exercise. Mind you, I do MMA and powerlifting and vigorous conditioning and cardio. Pretty much every single day I do one or the other. So I do vigorous exercise every single day. And I noticed my performance was actually decreasing for quite some time. And I was able to look at my calories versus my workload and how much calories I was burning, how much calories I was eating versus how much calories I was burning. And my Fitbit helped me understand, like, damn, I'm burning way more calories than I'm eating. So of course I'm not going to gain performance in my workouts because I'm constantly at a calorie deficit. I'm constantly burning like 500 to 1,000 calories more than I was eating. And I could directly see a strong correlation between days where I wouldn't eat enough but I'd exercise too much. And so it really helped me determine like when I need to take a break from my workouts, days I need to kind of tone it down a bit, and really like how much more or less I need to be eating. So I know for the average person, weight loss is basically the only thing they care about. But even for people who just want to feel their best, this is a great tool to determine your calories. But not only that, but your sleep. Very, very important. And also, if you tend to be extremely stressed out, you can actually determine how much stress hormones, adrenaline, and things your body is producing at a baseline simply by looking at your resting metabolic rate, which is a metric that the Fitbit app tracks based on your tracker. And so if your resting heart rate, not metabolic rate, if your resting heart rate increases by 1 to 2 points, steadily, what that means is your body is in a chronic state of stress and it needs to deload from that stress, whether that be through physical exercise, taking a break from work, or anything of that nature, or just some basic relaxation techniques. And by the way, my Fitbit actually has some guided breathing techniques as well. And it can guide you through relaxed breathing, which actually tends to be very good, very effective, despite the fact that I myself in my spare time practice meditation as well. Another great feature on some Fitbit models is that it can actually track your runs. So it tends to be pretty slightly inaccurate because it tracks mileage and time. So basically, if you've ever been on a treadmill and the treadmill tracks your time and your mileage, that's exactly what the Fitbit does. You just press the run button and then it starts a timer and it attempts to do its best job to track how many miles you're running in relation to the time. So if you want to run an 8-minute mile, the Fitbit can help you achieve that. The only problem is the mileage is not based on a GPS system unless you have one of the fancier smartwatch versions. The Fitbit basically tracks your mileage based on movement, rhythm, vibration, and I think mainly your stride length. So if you don't move your arm the entire time, I don't think it's going to track your miles. I've actually tested it where I've gone on like a mile run and then I walked back. And I noticed on the run it said 1 mile, and on the walk it said like 0.60, like 0.60 of a mile. So, and I was walking the same distance as I was running both ways. So it is still very useful. It's an amazing tool for tracking your workout intensity, for tracking your stress, for tracking your sleep, and for tracking your calories in relation to how much you're burning. Also, the Fitbit app has so much more than just this. It tracks like your weekly activity level. It tracks a whole lot of great stuff. It's very, very effective if you also track your food using something like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer, and you track your workouts in a notepad app. I find Fitbit to be extremely helpful, even for somebody who's into more of a natural medicine approach. It's a very effective modern tool, and I highly recommend it. So leave your questions and comments down below. Let me know what you think. And thank you very much, Selena, for buying me this Fitbit. I greatly appreciate it. Beautiful young lady.